What's up? It's your girl Chi. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be telling you guys some of my favorite podcasts. I stay listening to podcasts day to night. I think it's very important that if you want to get to a certain level, that you need to listen to those who you want to become like. What you consume is what you regurgitate. I composed a list of 8 podcasts that are based on business, faith, and self-improvement, lifestyle, things like that. So let's get started. It's too late. This is my list of my favorite podcasts. So the first podcast is Blessed and Bossed Up, hosted by TEMIA. This was like one of the first podcasts I actually started listening to when I started listening to podcasts. She combines the importance of having God centered as your business. So God is pretty much the CEO of your business. She will come after your life. Let me tell you that. If you're going to listen to her, you need to get your notes ready. You need to get ready to change your life. I think it's a show on scripture and what God says and what he needs us to do, especially as businesswomen. I definitely suggest listening to her. She is it. Go listen to her podcast. The next podcast I love to listen to is The Secret Sauce to Success by Monique Rodriguez, and she is the CEO and founder of MYLEIK Organics, the natural hair care brand. I'm not gonna lie, y'all, I stalk her on Instagram. That's like one of the few people I actually stalk on Instagram. On this podcast, she tells you the tips and tricks she used to build her business to a multi-million-dollar business within 4 years. I think she started her journey in 2014, I think. 2014, and in 2020, she's in all the Target stores, Sally's, everywhere. For podcast, because she also brings back God to the reason why she started her business, that God placed it within her, so that's where it is today. And so I love listening to her podcast and who she brings on, so definitely I recommend her. I always get excited when these people post, who I just told you who I'm about to tell you post. I literally jump. I'm like, yes, knowledge is wealth. So whatever tips they give me, I try to see where I need improvement in my life and I implement it. Next, to all my Nigerians out there, I don't know if you already know what I'm about to say, but Jesus and JOLLOF with LUVVIE and YOVONNE ORJI. YOVONNE ORJI is, of course, if you don't know, Insecure on HBO's Insecure. And then LUVVIE is the New York best-selling author of I'm Judging You. Great book. I finished that last month. Great book. She comes after everybody's life and why people don't have common sense. Great book. Definitely recommend it, especially in this season with quarantine, everybody just losing all forms of common sense. This is the book to read during your quarantine. Growing up in a Nigerian household, there's like traditional roles that our parents expect us to be when we grow up. So that's an engineer, doctor, and a lawyer. They really incorporate the journey of being Nigerians or growing up in a Nigerian household with what God had called them to be. They broke the norms and kind of followed what their passion was and what their gifts was. I remember one of the first episodes they said they were a failed doctor. I can relate, and I just inspires me because I see that me also, a Niger girl, is aspiring to do something outside of those traditional fields, and they're succeeding exceedingly in those areas. So definitely recommend it if you want to go laugh. Definitely recommend their podcast. It's really good. Next is a faith-based podcast, and this is Transformation Church. Love this podcast. I love this podcast. I mean, I listen to sermons on YouTube, but if you're on the go, if you're looking to listen to a sermon, this Transformation Church with lead pastor Mike Todd. Great messages. I started listening to Transformation Church early 2019, like consistently, and it changed my life. I'm not exaggerating. It changed my life and how I went about things, and how the more I started implementing what Mike Todd was preaching about into my life, how God changed everything. Like, I cannot live below what God has set for me. period. After listening to this podcast, there's some things that I needed to let go of, things that I needed to solve within like relationships and things like that. He preached one of the best sermons I had ever listened to in my whole entire life. No cap. I don't just say this about anything, but there's a series called Marked on there, and talks about how we're marked by God and how we're called to do great things, and how God is calling us and needs us to do what He has called us to do in order to fulfill what He needs us to do on this earth. Oh my gosh. I had to pause that podcast or pause that series sometimes because I was like, oh my gosh. Like my spirit was just, whew, definitely recommend it. Next is My Taught You by MYLEIK TEELE, and she is the CEO of the Curl Box. Her podcast pretty much talks about everything. I love listening to her because she's very assertive and head-on. She's a go-getter and she knows what she wants, and she talks about so many things. I love her podcast because she comes after everybody's life. I feel like everyone I listen to comes after everyone's life, which I love because that's what I do too. I love criticism. Yeah, I'm crazy like that. Yeah, I love criticism. I love to see where I'm going wrong or where I can improve, because I want to optimize my life. I don't want to waste my time. I wanted everything that God has for me. Because she talks about her business, she talks about lifestyle, she talks about relationships, she talks about books, how to re-audit your life, how to aggressively attack your life. Phenomenal woman. Definitely listen to her podcast. Love it. Next is Redefining Wealth by Patrice Washington, and she talks about the 7 pillars of wealth and how to build wealth, and she redefines what wealth means, and not to chase money but to chase purpose. And she defines the 6 pillars of wealth with health, so taking care of yourself. Health is wealth. People who you're connected to, your network, your relationships, your family, your space. So how does your space allow you to grow? How is it cultivating your creativity? How is it building your future? Work, is the work you're doing living out the purpose that God has set for your life? And money, so being in a place to receive prosperity in order to multiply it, take care of it, be good to what God had given to you and giving it right back. This pillar is faith. Love her podcast. If you're trying to build wealth like I am, listen to her podcast. She'll get you right real quick. She'll talk about finances, which is something I'm really big on, especially being a new business owner and trying to build a legacy. This is the place to get it. In order to receive what God has for you, you have to be prepared in every area of your life. And then next is a newer podcast. When I first started watching YouTube, she is one of the first YouTubers I started watching. Patricia Bright, and her podcast is called Off Guard, and she talks about finances, business, family, lifestyle, like how to live your best life, how to maximize your life. There's a new YouTube channel. It's called The Break Platform. I'll link it down below, but it's talking about how she manages her money, how she grows her business, side hustle. On her podcast, she interviews a lot of women succeeding in their field. So yeah, definitely recommend it. I really love that one. When I was running track, I would listen to this almost every single day, and it's Master Your Mindset by COLLIN Henderson, and it teaches you how to master your mind and how to train your mind to produce what is not yet existent, or to train your mind to think positive, how to have control of it, not it letting have control of you. Yeah, those are some of my favorite podcasts. Hope you guys decide to listen to them. You guys will love it. That's all I got for y'all. Thank you guys for watching my video once again, and I'll catch y'all next. Deuces.